Hey, Danilo here. This is part 2 of our discussion of Book 1 of Gardens of the Moon. I split this one up because we ran over 2.5 hours, and for some reason I thought we could get it in under 90 minutes. So if I seem sort of like an asshole trying to rush everyone along, that's why. I didn't mean to, and it won't be like this every time, I promise. Also, since you're here, if you like the vibe of the show, Mac and I have another podcast called Hardcover Hooligans, where we talk about all sorts of other fantasy and sci-fi and horror books. But you can check that out later. Meanwhile, back to Gardens of the Moon.
Chapter 3. We're back with our boy Perrin. He is on a boat going to Genebacchus, specifically Genebaris. He meets Topper again, and Topper gives him his new assignment. He is in charge of the bridge burners, one of the most legendary parts of the army. And Perrin is like, damn, that's pretty cool.
And when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute, maybe he's not like, because at first I thought he might be something of an antagonist, but then I was like, they're putting him with Whiskey Jack and Tattersail. He must change internally some way.
Well, and also, you meet these Whiskey Jack and all these guys, and they're like, we're the old guard, and we've seen some shit. And then to be like, okay, so this 19-year-old kid's going to be in charge of you now. Like, you're already like, okay, might not end the best. So now we know Pale has fallen, and now the Empress wants the last free city of Genebacchus called Darujistan. So that's sort of the next big campaign. We'll be trying to get that city. Perrin gets to Genebaris, connects with a man.
Mac raised his arms for this. So this is very
I
exciting.
love this guy.
And so he takes a quarrel. I'm going to say it's a bunch of
That was
quarrel
one thing where I went, all right.
to Pale.
It is a dragonfly.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. That's what I pictured. I
It's a
did get
giant-
that.
big
It's a
fantasy
big,
dragonfly.
big
A
dragonfly.
quarrel is a giant dragonfly.
I accept.
So are the people also bugs?
They're bug people.
Ugh.
Wait, what?
we don't know
Who's
that.
the bug people? The Moranth?
We don't know that they wear chitinous armor,
Yeah.
but the story is that they are like lost humans.
So
who
they
live in
are,
this
yeah. So
mountain area.
we have to this point not mentioned the Moranth. They have been mentioned a bunch of times as the Moranth have allied with the Malazans because the Moranth hate the city of Pale, and they think, okay, if we get the if we help the Malazans get Pale, they will let us kill everyone in Pale, and that they do. That's what happens. And so it's played close to the chest what these Moranth are, and then at some point we realize, oh, they're like people from the Cloud Mountains who like wear armor that looks like bugs and like speak in like clicks and buzzes, and they ride giant dragonflies around.
But we don't know under
Gross.
the armor what they look like or if they are bug people under the armor. We don't know.
But they're at the very least people who dress like bugs and ride giant dragonflies.
And the reason they hate Pale so much is because they always have these trade disputes, and Pale always comes out. And then this time they're like, when we conquer the city, we're going to kill everybody in there.
Yeah, and that's also not important. And that's like, again, this is for how dense this is, that's like a background thing.
How fun that they add that nice context for me to keep track of, right?
The bug people want to genocide a city because of a trade dispute, and that's the background.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Tattersail talks to Bellarden, who is one of the mages who survived. He's a giant. He's like a really big guy. They call him Toblakai, which is a kind of
No, he's
person.
a Thelamin.
A Thelamin.
Giant,
A
yes.
Thelamin Tartheno Toblakai.
Yeah, but
Oh my
I thought
God.
they
Say
were-
that 10 times
I think they're all
fast.
equivalent.
Are they really?
I think so. I think it's
Oh.
all the name for that
Oh.
person. They're basically giant buff people. They're sort of like giants. And so his lover was Night Chill, the lady who got destroyed by the demons. And so he has her body parts in like a bag. And so Tattersail's trying to talk to him, be like, hey, Taishrin is like trying to kill all of us, and he's too succumbed by grief. He doesn't care. The bridge burners keep talking about all the other dead bridge burners in the tunnels, and they're also suspecting some sort of like double cross, because during the battle, they were all trying to dig tunnels into Pale, and then the battle started, and then all of the tunnels collapsed and killed almost all the bridge burners, except for like 2 squads, the ones that
40 of them.
survive.
Very
Yeah.
efficient.
1,300 of them died.
He did that on purpose, right? Where he
Yeah, I
orchestrated
think
this
so.
battle over the tunnels, and
I
then
mean,
did it on
that's so they're
purpose.
all like, okay, so we're the old guard. They're this new empress. People think we're more loyal. Like, okay, Taishrin and the empress are working to like wipe us out, but like
Yeah.
we can't prove it.
Okay.
And so they also talk about like who Sari is, because they like know Sari is like she's like scary and there's
Now,
magic
Sari's
coming
my
out of
favorite
her.
character. I'm kidding.
And there's and so there's just like a lot of stuff they don't understand that's going on, and their plan is to sort of use Hairlock, this puppet, to try to like figure out what's happening. Like, who Sari is, why there's this crazy girl who's like maybe magical, and then like, oh, is Taishrin trying to betray everyone to kill them?
And the running theory, so they kind of vote on it, and Kalam and Quick Ben both think that the House of Shadow is somehow directly controlling Sari.
Okay, and so that would be
Even more
Cotillion
than that, I
and,
think.
and Marnas.
Shadow
The
Throne.
rope
Just say
and
Shadow Throne.
Shadow Throne. So
I
that would be the
think-
girl that they took and they planted her, right?
Yes,
I think
that
That
is
is the theory.
That is the Fisher girl from the beginning.
It's
is
gotta
Sari.
be.
It's Colton. Colton's
Colton.
Cotillion?
Colton is literally that's my
That
guess.
is, well, that's what also Quick Ben and Tattersail and Kalam think, but Whiskey Jack is kind of says like, hey, if that's true, I'm going to lose my mind, so let's just
Yeah, there's a
operate
really
under the assumption that that's
beautiful-
not true.
There's something Tattersail says about that where she's like, you have to believe this for your own sanity. A man who like has seen so much.
So Perrin arrives at Pale via Quarrel, and he names he meets a guy called Tak the Younger, who's a member of the Claw. He has an eye patch and half his face is burned off. And he has a fantastic quote, and I do want to read this because it is advice for how to read the book. Out of your depth, Captain? Don't worry. Every damn person here is out of their depth. Some know it, some don't. It's the ones who don't you got to worry about. Start with what's right in front of you and forget the rest for now. It'll show up in its own time.
Now that would be nice if he said as you're reading this, but I didn't.
Here is a book, Perrin. It's confusing. Here is how I would read it if I were you.
That would have I
would
would
be
have
good.
pieced together. I was just like, oh, that's some
And
fun
I'm
advice.
interested in Talk the Younger because he sort of clocks him as a different kind of Claw where he's like, you're not like outwardly immediately evil and bad. You're kind of
there's-
nice.
There's
Can
more
we
to this Talk the
define?
Younger
We've never
guy.
actually stated what is the Claw.
The Claw is basically the Malazan FBI
Well, the CIA.
or the CIA. They are like the secret police / assassins who work behind the scenes to be spies,
Destabilize nations.
to kill people, to destabilize places before the Empire invades.
So they're not a rebellion group who
No.
are evil.
No, so from the paragraph, Surly, who is now Lacine, was in charge of the Claw. And
she's
so
in charge of the FBI.
she was in charge of all like the assassin secret police.
Okay.
And so now she's the Empress. And so the power of the Claw has gotten a lot bigger because she was in charge of it, and now she's the Empress.
Cool. So that's Talk the Younger. He's got some good advice for
Yeah.
us how to read the book, and we said,
Yep.
I didn't know that was about the book, but I'm glad we said that today.
And then Perrin is like, I'm going to go find these bridge burners. And he meets a bunch of other bridge burners. We meet Picker, who is a very like cold, sassy woman who has a toothpick. We meet Ansi, who has a big mustache. We have Mallet, who is a healer. And two other ones. We have Hedge, who I don't know what his job is. I think he's just a soldier.
I think you might be right.
He's just a soldier. And we have Trots, who is a Barghast, which is another type of person. They're big and buff.
But they're not as big as the Toblakai.
Toblakai, yes.
And they have tattoos all over.
And so they meet. They're kind of antagonistic toward Perrin, but Perrin's like trying really hard. And he's like, I'm not going to gamble with you. And Perrin's like, man, you know, this might be a little harder than I thought, but I think I can pull this off. And immediately he gets stabbed in the heart by Sari.
Love that.
Yep.
And then I said, okay, I don't have to worry about him anymore.
So
That's one less character I need to keep track of.
Yes, and that's how that chapter ends, right?
Yep. And then Shadow Throne and Cotillion appear and are like, damn, do we have to do this?
Well,
And
no,
but
Shadow Throne
He's through the
appears.
voices, yeah.
And the
Perrin hears the voices.
hears the voice of a little girl, and he's like, that does not sound like the
A
stuff a
little
little girl
girl,
would
yeah.
say.
So we don't have to be coy about it. Cotillion
Is sorry.
Yeah.
Cotillion is sorry. he like invaded her mind. He
Yeah.
possessed her to be an assassin.
Because
to
in a perfect
kill
world,
Perrin.
he could just do the assassins, but he's sort of like a weird eldritch god
He's a-
person,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
would send alarm bells.
Yeah,
if
and so
somebody
their
saw
whole
him.
plan was to try to hide their path about Cotillion possessing Sari.
And they're terrible at it because
Yeah.
everybody's like, sorry. it's
They are
fucked up.
terrible at it.
Yeah.
Like I think that's funny. Is
Yeah.
that he's like trying to blend in, and that is the best he can do. Is like be weird and off-putting, and also they know Perrin is there to investigate them, and so they're like, well, we have to kill him. That's why they kill him.
Ah. And once again, I was like, well, I don't have to care about anybody because I think they're all going to die anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And that's chapter 3.
There was the following chapter 2 and all of its, sort of like Neuromancer where they just say a bunch of
Yeah.
stuff and you kind of got to figure it out. The moment between Tattersail and the giant was really
Yeah.
beautiful
It's
and
very sad.
emotional. And I was like, this was the second moment where I was like, okay, I'm
And the giant
interested.
is Bellarden. Yeah.
Yes. And the last, and like just the thought, like the vision of this giant in a huddled corner of this dingy street holding the remains of their lover in a bag. I was like, holy shit, that's beautiful. And you get to see a little bit more of Tattersail because I also wasn't like too sure about her, but she's really gentle and kind. And she's like, let me go with you and like raise up her spirit or whatever.
But also, we have to talk about Tay trying to kill us.
But also you have to wake up a little bit. And the other thing that I thought was fun about, like right away at the beginning, maybe it was a different part, but they're talking about, it was the beginning of chapter 2 maybe. There's a moment where the adjunct is like, oh yeah, the girl is with the bridge burners and she's corrupting them. And then you're like, oh my God, they don't know that they know. And then the bridge burners are like, yeah, so we know something is going on. And I was like, the fun thing about this book is that there's always some sort of game or plot happening that they're trying to get the other side, like they're trying to do to the other side secretly, but the other side always knows what's going on a little
Yeah,
bit.
they're not
Or
idiots.
knows something. Yeah.
And like everybody knows what's going on, but they're just like trying to trick each other and they don't realize. I was like, okay, this is
and
fun.
I also something I have to point out, like all this stuff is intra-empire people.
right.
Like this is not even them.
These are all people supposed to be on the same side.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's not even the like
that I didn't know.
Animander
I
rape.
thought
Yeah.
they were enemies.
No, everybody you've ever met so far, except for the guy in the moon, is supposed to be on the same
Okay.
side.
See-
Technically, they're all part of the Malazan Empire, and ostensibly, they're all like, we're all on the same, like, we're all America trying to do
I didn't even
stuff.
know if I was supposed to like Tattersail because I'm like, I don't know about her. And then she goes back and forth and she's like not very confident in herself and she keeps like
Yep.
changing
Yeah.
sides. And so I'm like,
Well, and I want to talk about this at the end, the whole like good guys, bad guys, who to root for, who are you like connected with, all that stuff. Because Shelby, you were telling me, you're like, I have a hard time caring about anyone.
mhm. Especially
think I wanna
because
talk
there's
about
so
that
much
later.
death in this book. I think I don't want to get attached. So I'm like, it's best if I just recognize like it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I will tell you, these are the characters we will be with.
we will be with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we keep introducing more. So I'm also like, oh, do I?
I mean,
He's
at-
not
at the end, I
like
have a-
George R.
yeah.
R. Martin.
Okay.
Like he's not going to make you fall in love with Ned Stark and then kill him at the end of the book.
Okay.
That is not
Yeah.
what's happening. Now, like obviously, it's called the Book of the Fallen,
Mhm.
and so things might befall the principal
Mhm.
cast, but you don't have to be like it's never going to happen like on the next page. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
Well, and there's also something to be said of like you're reading and you're like, Calot, should I care about him? Oh,
And then he
Tattersail
dies
likes
4
him,
pages
and then
later.
like he dies 4 pages later, and like I'm like, oh yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so at the end, like I can go through like a little list of like, oh, pay attention to these people
Yeah,
throughout
that would
this
be
book
great.
and like
Yeah.
connect with them, not because they'll live forever, but like because they're good. Like
It's okay.
I'm gonna
to care about these
emotionally
ones.
hang on to them because you'll see them again. Like they sort of overall are main characters.
Okay, that's great because we've introduced in the last chapter 3 like 8 new guys
Yeah, a
still.
lot.
And
There-
and I don't want to be too spoilery, but like a character like Hairlock, who is insane, he doesn't last the whole 10 books. I'll just say that.
He's a puppet. I mean, I
He's
didn't
a
think
puppet.
that would last that long.
He
anyway.
was barely alive the first time you met him, and now he's a puppet. I don't think he's lasting the book 10.
This
I think
was
they could have
also-
gone with sock puppet. I think that.
Oh,
That
that would have
would've
been
been
fun with like the
Because somebody
googly
has to
eyes.
have him on the whole time.
He's like, move your hand. I got something to say.
Hey, Shadowthorn, you want a sock puppet?
Yes, that sounds fun.
This was also the part where I started to be like, wait, I think I'm supposed to like Perrin because he has this little thought at the start of chapter 3 where he's like, oh, and me, I'm a fool who followed his dream, and now all I desire is its end. And it's like already the stuff that was set up at the beginning where he's like, I want to be a soldier is falling apart for him. Like it's already happening really quick where he's like, this is not all it's cracked up to be. So I thought that was cool. And this is where I was like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to like him. And then when he gets stabbed, I was like, all right, this book is gonna be good, and I was prepared, and then I was ready to keep going.
And that's like the first moment of the subverting like the fantasy tropes, because you're like, okay, so noble guy gets put in charge of like the most important people, and like the story is gonna be about like him winning these guys over and being a badass, and magical things are gonna happen, and like the second you think that, he dies.
He gets stabbed. Yeah. Did you said something about the Toblakai? Who was that again?
That's
really-
Bellarden. He's a
Bellarden?
Thelluman or
He's that.
He's
Tartheno
that.
Toblakai.
Because at the beginning of chapter 3, there's this poem called Gotho's Folly.
Yep.
And they say, like, Theluman, Tartheno, Toblakai, find the names of a people so reluctant to fade into oblivion. Their legend rots my cynical cast and blights my eyes with bright glory. And that part, there's so many, like, things that reference each other. And I was just thinking about what you said about how this book is sort of about empire and how it expands or it dies. And that quote reminded me of the quote that I specifically tried to call out earlier when we were trying to move on, of the ghosts of the conquered but unconquerable. Like, that's the people, the names of a people so reluctant to fade into oblivion are the ghosts of the conquered but unconquerable. And that was really cool. And that's the belt. Oh,
No, those are
the
different.
giant?
Those are different people.
Yeah.
Different.
7 cities are the unconquerable.
But either way,
Yeah.
either way, it's like you've conquered my spirit or
Right.
you've conquered my land.
Yeah, they've been involved in the empire, but
Yeah.
they're not just going to sit there and take it.
Yeah.
We'll go through chapter 4, and then like at the end we'll talk about what does it mean for good guys and bad guys in the fantasy setting, where it's a bunch of different people and different kinds of people who want all different things, working sort of towards the same goal, but also like sort of working against each other.
One quick.
Or an
this
empress
is
that
the
I don't think
beginning.
any of them care about.
No, well, yeah, exactly. Who they all think wants to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing end of chapter 3, leading into chapter 4, as Perrin is dying, he starts hearing the coin spinning in his head as well, just like Tattersail. That was the other thing where I was like, these two are going to be connected somehow, and he's an important guy. And it's like, now I'm just waiting for them to meet and like for their paths to cross, because like they both have
And
this
boy, do
spinning
they.
coin.
Yes, what?
Yeah, right. And then the epigraph written at the yes, thank you. Written at the beginning of chapter 4
Yep.
was written by Talk the Younger.
The guy who we just met.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I thought that was so fun. And he's
Did
writing.
you pick up on that, Shelby?
No, I told you I didn't read the names at the bottom. I didn't read the dates.
But his
I barely know who talked the young. You said eye patch, so now I've got
Yes,
that in
it's
my
eye
notes.
patch guy,
That's
yep.
good.
eye patch guy, but he wrote a little thing called The Bridge Burners. And so I'm like, okay, Talk the Younger. Maybe some of these claw guys are not so bad, and they kind of fuck with the bridge burners, and they don't fuck with Empress Lacine.
They love
Yeah.
poetry.
Interesting. Anyways,
All love
They love
poetry.
poetry.
And something about the poems is like it's not necessarily those people have written it at the exact time that these books are, that like the events of the books are happening. Sometimes those, maybe are written after everything has happened, thinking about what happened. Anyway, so yes, chapter 4, as Sarah mentioned, we get an epigraph by Tok the Younger, which is very fun because we just met him. There's a big old meeting between Tattersail and some of the bridge burners. They want to know what's happening. They're like, okay, is the Emperor's trying to kill us? Is it Taishran who's acting alone for power? Why is he doing this? Sorry, she's involved in the House of Shadow. We don't know what her deal is. Why is Shadow in here? They think that like, oh, maybe Shadow has some beef with the Empire. They know about like the Hounds of Shadow, maybe killed all those people. They're like, okay, Adjunct Lorne must be investigating something because there's sorcery involved, and every time there's sorcery involved, the adjunct is involved because the Empress hates sorcery. They talk about the Warrant of Shadow, which is weird. This is where they mention the Teist Idur. And once again, they mention our boy Dasem Ultor and a god's betrayal, an emperor assassinated, and then...
You have to say that slower, and then you have to tell me what that means.
So they talk about Dasem Ultor and how like maybe, okay, he betrayed a god, and then shortly after the old emperor was assassinated, and then Dasem Ultor vowed revenge against the god of death. Hood.
Oh, he was the right hand man of one of the gods
the sword
of the old emperor.
Of the
Yes,
old empire,
yes.
and he signed a deal with Hood to become the Knight of High House
Hood, the
Death,
god
which
of
is Hood.
death.
You're right. And then when he died, he was like, "That's fucked up. You'd let him die. I'm gonna fuck you up." And
Yeah,
then
we
he
don't
died.
know exactly what happened, but
And say his name one more time.
Dasem Ultor.
Dasem Ultor. So that sounds like
Yep.
you might come on.
And so they're talking about all like these interlocking political things and magic and gods. And then Fiddler's like, I got a bad feeling something's happened.
We
and
like
then
Fiddler.
smash cut to Perrin at Hood's gate.
Oops.
And they're
Wake up-
in the
wake
realm
up
of
in hell.
Hood. And he, yeah, oops, wake up in hell. You get stabbed by a little girl, you wake up in hell. And there's a big gate that's made of like writhing bodies, and the god Opon comes upon Perrin,
Cute.
and it's one god,
Subtle
but it is
stuff, Steve.
but it is two. It is like they're like two.
It's a god in
twice
two parts.
aspected in two
It's
parts.
a twin. They're
They're
twins.
twins. It's
Are
a
they in
man
one
and a
body?
woman.
I assumed
No,
they
they're
were
in two
separate.
bodies.
They're in two bodies, but like together they're one
It's
god.
not like Harry Potter and it's the one head.
No,
and it's
exactly.
not-
Yeah. And they're like, damn, this sucks, but he's an important pawn in our game. So they decide they're going to save his life by trading it for another random of some kind. We
Well,
don't
they
quite
say
know what that
somebody
means.
close to him.
Somebody
Yeah.
close to him.
I'm
And he
gonna
says, "Take me
assume it's one of
instead."
the sisters. That's my guess.
Mm.
Interesting.
I also
interesting.
assumed that, and he like begs to not do that, and I was like, okay,
It's gotta
All
be
right.
somebody we know
It's
that
sort
he
of
likes.
out of your hands, man. I don't really know what to
Yeah.
tell you.
yeah, you can't.
Then Opon leaves, and then the hounds appear, and Shadow Throne
Well,
is
hang on,
there.
you didn't talk about Hood's weird assistant.
Oh yeah, Hood's weird assistant comes, and what
He's
is
like-
it? Do you want to?
Well, yeah, he's just like, we demand to talk to Lord Hood, and then this just like creepy guy comes out, and he just keeps shape shifting for fun. And Opon is like, "Can you stop shape shifting?" And he's like, "No." And then
Yeah, he's like, he literally says like, pick one.
and then that's who they make the deal with. They're like, "No, we'll trade," but he says. They said, "Where's Hood?" And he's just like, "He's busy." Like, what?
He's
Do you
like the
think
god
this
of
is the most important thing he has going on today? Which, like, there are parts of these books like that is supposed to be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like that, it is. Like the gods are silly and Shadow Throne's crazy, and like that's just supposed to be part of it. So
But anyway, that was it. Opon makes the deal with that guy, and he's like, "I don't know. I guess I'll talk to Hood, but you do whatever you want, I guess." And then he leaves.
yeah.
I
and-
thought this part like was cool because I didn't know if the gods were like actually real in this world. You know, with a lot of it's like, oh, the gods, but it's like you don't know if they're real. But having them really be here and like be part of the story and be characters is so cool, and it makes the deck of dragons, like the tarot cards, even more cool because they're doing a game about real people. Like they're trying to
Mhm.
get readings. And I was like, that is really interesting. And I just didn't expect them to be real. I don't know why.
Very important info as well. They did announce that gods can die.
They did.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yes.
Even gods die, and that scares them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's the thing about, any god you hear about, it like somewhere in the world, it's someone like in a place.
Yeah.
And they might be incredibly powerful, but it's like,
You could go fuck their shit up if you were equally powerful.
yeah, like if you could get to the god of death, you could just show up and talk to him.
Yeah.
This was another interesting. Perrin says something where he's yelling at Shadow Throne and he's like, when you die, I'm going to be waiting for you on the other side.
It's interesting.
It's interesting. And then he says, I always despised authority, didn't I? And I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with his character, but I was like, you say that, but you sort of just went along with Adjunct Lauren. You sort of just accepted what she said of you. You joined the Empire. You didn't even really think about it. It honestly reminded me of Mother Night by Kurt Vonnegut, where it's like this guy just goes along with it. So I don't know. That was interesting.
Well, and he's incredibly passive, and like he
Yeah.
keeps like good stuff keeps happening for him until all of a sudden he's so passive he gets killed.
And then
Yeah,
when
that-
he's
yeah, that's
dead,
true.
he is suddenly uncharacteristically antagonistic and brave and cool.
Yeah, he's like, no, don't take her, take me. And then he's like, the day you die, Shadow Throne, I'll be waiting
Yeah.
for you with the smile. Gods can die,
Yeah.
can't they? And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
I liked him the whole time. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say, I always thought he
That's
was
good.
fine. I didn't care for Tattersall that much. I thought she was
Do you
kind
like
of
her
like
now?
I have mixed feelings about her. She is goes back and forth between. I think she's confused, and I think that frustrates me
Sure.
because she's supposed to be some sense of a leader and this
Well, she's a main
219-year-old
character. Yeah,
person,
yeah.
and I had a hard time telling what her intentions were and if she like actually cares to be good or I don't know. So and she's friends with this puppet boy.
Yeah.
So like that's, you choose the people that you hang out with. That says a lot about you. So I don't know. That's kind of my thought. I thought he was fine, but I will say I'm glad that I was like, okay, I know this guy. I've invested time in him. He died, but it's okay. He's coming back. So my time was worth it still.
Good.
So yes, Opan makes a bargain, gets his life back, and Corporal Picker from the Bridge Burners, like in the real world, is leaning over him. He's like, she's like, damn, he seemed really nice. And then he like screams and like, oh my God, he's alive. And the Bridge Burners like come to collect him.
Well, he's laying on the bed still bleeding. And she's like, why are you still bleeding? And then he starts screaming.
You died an hour.
Tattersail does another reading of the deck of dragons.
And
This is what you want to talk
huge.
about?
And this was huge because everything that happened on this page, I think it was like page 115, I was like, all of this has to have greater implications.
This is
because
Boo's favorite part.
there's so much stuff that's going on. She talks about...
Even this part I sort of skim over. So,
I don't like the tarot readings. I don't, but I immediately clocked that you would. I was like,
yes, because there's like for sure there's gotta be, because she's talking about how there's this guy who carved these words for himself, and like this man is weathered, and now the role had been assumed by a man who'd once worked in stone but no longer. And then on like the next page, one of these bridge burners is talking about how he used to work in stone.
Both of them did.
And I was like, okay, so that's something. I don't know what yet. But then she starts talking about this sword, and she's like, oh yeah, there's this draconian figure hovered in the dark, or in the inky sky behind the night, elusive as ever. And then the knight's sword reached a black smoky streak toward the hound at the spiral's apex, and in this instant she knew its meaning. The future held a clash between the knight and the high house shadow. There'd be no alliance between the houses. And then on the next, for the rest of the chapter, the word like sword, and not just like as weapon, but sword, kept coming back up. And I was like, so who is this sword?
Now,
and in the prologue, there was that guy who was the sword for the Empire. So what does it mean to be a sword?
beyond
Go ahead,
that,
Shelby.
I think so. When my guy Thanos was dead,
Baron.
was dead. The twins talked about his sword. Well, and I clocked that as penis. I thought they were like, we like your
They
sword.
thought,
Oh, yeah.
And I was
your,
like,
your fourth
that's
wing's
funny.
like his
Yeah.
sword. They're talking about his dick.
But I think, and then I was like, maybe not. They're not really coming on to him that much. And then
So it's a real sword.
and
you
then,
said.
and then it was a real sword. So anytime, and that comes up later in this chapter.
Yep.
So I was like, anytime they talk about sword, I kind of think they're referring to he has like this special sword.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like also how he's going to be utilized by them, because they're like, we want nothing from you except your stupid, pathetic life. And then he gets this powerful sword and does this crazy
I
thing.
like that you mentioned the thing about the builder, because on the very next page, you're right. Whiskey Jack and Fiddler say, we used to both be stonemasons. huh?"
Yeah, and it's like, okay, so
Yeah.
she's having these visions about who these people are and the role that they're going to play in this war that the Empress is carrying out. And then you also learn a little bit about her past, and we don't really know what it is, but she's like a child bearing the talent who had run away from the knowledge, telling no one. And then I was like, oh, she has a tortured past. Oh, no.
Yes, so we learn all that. And then they learn that Hairlock is on his way, but also the Hounds of Shadow are on his tail because he got too close to investigate, and the Hounds got his scent.
The
What
image
was
of
he
a puppet.
investigating?
So his deal was, Hairlock's deal was, okay, so you bridge burners saved my life, put me to a doll, and I'll help you figure out why the god of assassins is this little girl in your party and like what's happening. And so he like tried to use like some backdoor magic, the
now,
magic
you
of
know
chaos.
what is not inconspicuous?
Mhm.
A puppet
Yeah, I know.
showing up.
I think that's
No,
so
literally.
funny.
But
I
and
think-
the
I think
image
this
of him
bec-
being
I
chased
think
by
this becomes
dogs.
clearer though later because Hairlock uses the Warrens of Chaos, which
Would tear apart his human body, but don't his marionette body.
yes, which is like the space in between the different Warrens, which like if any normal person accessed it would make them go crazy and insane. But like because he's a puppet, he can like travel
And
through there.
pre-crazy.
Yeah, he's pre-crazy. But yeah, that's also a whole other thing.
Well,
Anyway.
they're also worried about that. They're like, he's using the magic that makes you crazy, and we made the craziest guy we know into a puppet, so he
Yeah.
might just be getting crazier, and that might be bad.
Which I
Right.
think is fun.
I
I
think
think
it's a
it
lot of
is
fun.
super
Crazy.
fun, and it's
Yeah.
super funny to imagine him being chased by dogs.
It's so fun.
a little
little
tiny
puppet
puppet.
chased by dogs.
I
You can't
picture
imagine he's
Pinocchio.
running like as fast as
Exactly.
a human, and so it's just like a little puppet like running and like the biggest wolf hound
Yeah, how
you've
could
ever
the
seen.
dog not catch that little puppet? He's got to have like
He's
flash
wily.
powers.
My favorite thing is he comes into to the room and locks locks himself in a box and says, "You take care of this."
Fix it. Well, he strolls into the room and he's like, "I did it." And then he hears like, "Rrr." He's like, "No."
Well,
that's jumping
done.
jumping ahead a
That's
little
on
bit.
you. And then he literally locks himself in a box, and I said, "That's that. I would do that."
And that's supposed to be funny.
I love him.
But so that happens a tiny bit later. So we have Mallet, who's the healer, heals Perrin, and there's like, there's a mental cost to that, which I always like when magical healing like has a cost. Like, okay, we can fix your body, but it's gonna be painful.
Your brain died.
But like, yeah, your brain also has stuff going on, so like your brain has to catch up to your body. And then all the bridge burners, they ride the quarrels to Darujistan because that's where their next assignment is, and we don't really know
Ride
what their
the
next
quarrels
assignment
to
is.
Darujistan.
They say something fun
everybody.
about Fiddler. He's always pacing and he's always thinking about stuff. And Dujak's like, "Why is he doing that?" And somebody's like, "Well, he just kind of can do this thing where when he says like something bad is happening, he just knows." And somebody else is like, "He's the one who got us out of the tunnels," because he was like, "Something bad is about to
I
happen."
forgot
And-
about
yeah.
that.
And she notices that, like Tattersall notices, and she's like, "Oh, he has the talent or something.
Yeah.
Like he has something,
has
about
something.
him."
There's
way
like
about
3 guys. We're like, Quick Ben is one, Fiddler, and there's, I'm sure, one other person where you're like,
There's
you
something
might be
going
a
on
little
with
more
that guy,
powerful.
They're all
Yeah.
dangerous in their own ways, but they kind of keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
But they heal him. Something. This is a clarifying question. On like page 117, Dujek and Whiskey Jack are talking, and Dujek is like, "Oh yeah, they don't know where that the new captain went, and we also don't know where Kalam
Can we
went.
call
Your killer."
Dujek one arm?
Oh sure,
for my
one
own
arm.
brain?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dujek, one arm.
Dujek.
Yeah.
I can call him one arm. And then they're like, he doesn't know where Kalam is. Does he know that they're bringing him back to
They
life?
found, so some of the bridge burners found when Ansi and Picker alerted that Perrin was alive.
Yeah.
They ran him into like Tattersall's
Her room.
Wherever she's
bedroom.
staying in
and
Pale.
those
Yeah.
people were Quick Ben, Kalam, and Ansi and Picker and the rest.
So
And
do
that's
they tell-
happening in a separate part. So no, they don't know that that's happening.
And do they not tell him on purpose, or is it just like it's too busy?
It just happened.
So it's just like it's too busy. I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was like an on purpose thing.
And
or
they're like, "Well, Perrin's dead. We're gonna go." So they just
yeah, we're gonna
leave,
leave.
and are under the impression that this dude is dead.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay.
Then we get a POV of one of the Hounds of Shadow, whose name is Gear, and she it is a she, right? She's on Hairlock's path. She's like, no one comes into my house and
Yeah.
gets away with it,
Good
least
dog.
of all a little puppet. And so this is when the thing that happens that we just talked about, where Hairlock appears in Tattersall's room, is like, "Hey, I lost him."
I got rid of him.
And then she hears a growl from outside, and he's like, "Oh wait, never mind. I'm going in this box. You take care of it." The Hound appears. They fight. They have a magical. And again, these hounds are the size of, I think they say mules. They're-
Yeah, she gets her ass whooped really quick.
Yeah, she like tries to put up shields. The Gear is trying to break through it. They have a fight. Tattersall, it's not going well. And then Hairlock tries to use his insane magic to try to steal Gear's soul.
Very fun. I was like,
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
what
that
I do
was
too.
great. That's got to be the chaos main or
Yeah,
whatever.
like chaos magic, whatever.
And she tells the dog.
Yeah.
And Tattersall immediately is like, okay, so that's a fate worse than death if like this puppet steals your soul. So like, hey dog, get out of here. But she's too weak, and so Perrin jumps up. He's healthy. He has his sword. His sword is called Chance, and he kills Gear.
No, he wounds Gear.
He wounds Gear. Right, he wounds Gear before Hairlock can steal her soul.
And then a funny thing happens where Hairlock runs across the room to try to get to Gear, and Tattersall kicks him all the way across it, and he slams into the wall.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I
then
like
the
that.
chapter ends.
And the chapter ends with, "Then she smiled, a spinning coin. I hear a spinning coin." And I wrote, "They both do," because they both hear this spinning coin. And I wonder if it's for the same purpose or a different purpose. And I don't
I
Coin.
think it's
No.
the gods playing around. There's the god of
Could
be.
chance, and
Could
the
be.
coin is symbolic of one of the gods is doing some shit.
yeah, and it
you're
was
right.
like right away, they're like, "We want you to be our sword." And then she had a vision about a sword, and then he used his sword to kill the dog. And I was like, okay, all right. That's good. That's good stuff, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So now I want to take a little bit, because Shelby, you're having an issue like, oh, who do they like care about or what to pay attention to with all this stuff. And I think one of the big things I would say is very similar to what Sarah was doing. Like if you come across something where you're like, I don't know what this is, sometimes it's useful to be like, I sort of know what the vibe of this is. Like you read all that stuff about Animander Rake and you're like, I don't know what that means, but like that seems crazy and intense. So the guy they're talking about is probably crazy and intense. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah.
And then in terms of like characters to pay attention to, or to like hook on, or like to be emotionally invested in, like if you don't like them, at least their story would be like Perrin. We know he like died and came back. Death and having that stuff happen to him, maybe has changed him or maybe not in different ways. Whiskey Jack, because he seems like sort of a guy who's
I just think if you're going to name somebody Whiskey Jack, he better be important,
right. Exactly.
That's just a fun name.
He's trying, he has his guys and his crew, and he's just like trying to do his best in a tough situation. Quick Ben, right now, not a very deep character, but you're like, there's something going on with him, paying attention to that. And again, Tattersail, which like you said, you didn't really like her, but it is sort of that situation of where might be able to glom on to, okay, so she's having a lot of complex mixed
here
feelings.
To stay. I have to pay attention to her.
Yeah, she might be having complex feelings about like her allegiances. Like she's lived a long time. She's now like doing the Malazan thing, and she's like, okay, am I on the right side? Am I not? Do I want to keep doing this? That's sort of like her story. She's lost a lot of friends. She's trying to like find her way in the world. So some things to glom onto.
The quote that sold me on Tattersail, she's talking to somebody, I don't even remember. But they explain everything to her. Whiskey Jack, they're like, we think this is what's happening. We think, sorry, is this, that, the other thing. And then, do you walk away from this? The sergeant asked. So he's like, do you want to stay or do you want to go? And she smiled and said, the only death I fear is dying ignorant. No is my answer. And I was like, okay, so you have a lot of strength in you. You're just really like suppressed and like you said, she's confused and she doesn't know where she fits in or if she's doing the right thing. And so it's hard for her to, this is my opinion, it's hard for her to be strong and be outspoken when she doesn't have confidence in what she's doing.
What in your fantasy imagining, what accents do you think most of the Malazan Empire people have? Do you think it's French? Do you think it's British? Do you think it's American?
Well, and I'll say that I might put you guys on the spot. So when they talk about Quick Ben is Malazan tainted with a Seven Cities accent, I want you to do for me what you think that sounds like.
Don't worry about it. Quick bit. I'm from no, it's gonna be really no, that's what Hairlock sounds like.
Hairlock that is what Hairlock.
That is what Hairlock.
I lost him, Tattersail.
But I asked that because when they read the audiobook, they do like sometimes it's French, sometimes they're British, sometimes American.
Are you kidding me?
No,
that's horrible.
I don't think
and
about that.
And they can't decide. I think they all have American accents.
I think that
American Empire.
I didn't even get to a point where I could
I don't
put
even
that
really
in
think
my
about
head.
that.
That's because I am the most creative person in the room.
Yeah, I just was so busy trying to absorb everything. I didn't even think. And also when I read books, I don't.
There were elves. I didn't realize that the Empress
well,
had blue skin. Like
I didn't
know.
Well, and they aren't exactly elves. Like that's like the easiest thing of to like glom onto to be like, oh, that's sort of like
they do
this.
have pointy ears though, don't they?
Actually, I don't know. They might,
they
but yeah, the Teist are fantasy elves. They're just called something different.
And what are the Talani Mas?
You don't know yet.
You don't
I
know
don't
yet.
know. Are you sure? I don't know.
I'm positive you don't know
the
yet.
Talani Mas.
Well, you do know that it says it's an undead army operated by.
So are they
the
zombies?
The Talanimas are an undead army. That's all you know right now.
That's cool. And also there's something going on with these birds. And it feels like we're building to dragons because the birds killed all the guys in the town, and then the birds killed a bunch of guys on the field.
Well, we don't know if the birds killed the guys in the town.
They just eat them.
We've just seen.
But he
We've
said
seen
the birds.
crows.
But he said something when he went and reported. He's like, yeah, it looks like the agent of death was birds or something like that.
Right, the agent to let them know there are dead bodies there is birds.
But there was a bunch of pigeons in the building.
Right, I know, but we don't know if the pigeons are the one who killed all those.
Okay,
guys.
but either way, there's something going on with these
There's
birds.
There's a lot of
Killed
mention
by a
of
pigeon.
birds.
What a way to go!
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
There's a lot of mention of birds.
There's a lot of birds.
There are a lot of birds.
There's also a lot of mentions of like names because on like one of these early pages they say there's names and then there's names italicized. And I was like, okay, so that's going to come up. And then there's a bunch of stuff going on with names. These are just things I've gleaned that I'm like trying to keep in my mind. I should have said that when I started this list. Things I've gleaned that I'm trying to keep in my mind.
Can I
Fate.
tell you my list?
Names.
Yeah.
Reciprocity.
Your list of names. Shelby's list of names.
Shelby's Death Note.
Honor, loyalty, and birds.
Oh.
Oh, that's it. Oh, that's sick. I like that a lot.
Honor, loyalty, and birds.
Yeah. I don't know what that could be, but I
it's
like
cool,
to hear
but
it.
it's cool.
It's something.
Oh, sorry. The last thing on my list was luck. And then, Shelby, let's hear your list.
Too many capitalized words.
And they're at the beginning of every sentence. which
Oh
is
my
absurd.
And there's never.
It feels like reading a foreign language. I have no context for anything. There's an insane amount of paragraphs with historical battle references that mean nothing to me. I don't know what is important and what to keep track of. And it's becoming exhausting to read. And then I wrote, absolutely nothing fun has happened yet.
That's true.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah, that's.
They had a battle where a bunch of them died, and then a guy got stabbed.
I promise you, there's plenty of fun stuff. If you want to read like guys hanging out, it's coming.
It's coming.
Well, and
Yeah.
I was like, when I was thinking about this, because I finished this section yesterday, and then I was thinking about it today, and I was like, words that I would use to describe this book. One of them is not beautiful. Like
No,
nothing
no.
beautiful is happening.
That was my one word I wrote. If Dark Souls was a book.
Yeah.
yeah,
For those of you
if
who
I'm
don't
playing
know.
like which is like the video game, like if I'm playing Elden Ring on the PlayStation and like I'm playing a bunch of it, Shelby will like come out of her office and just like look at it, like, why would you want to look at this all day? It just
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
sad.
It's inscrutable and sad and depressing.
And then I hear you scream as you're constantly defeated by the bosses and you're grinding them. And I'm like, is that really fun
Yeah.
for you? Are
One-
you like enjoying
One
it?
thing I will say about this, we might not be there yet, but Shelby, something you've told me you really like in fiction is when like, oh, the characters are like there for each other despite like the hard times, and they like really support each other, and that is, I think, a lot of what the heart of this series is. They are in a dark world and are put in impossible situations, but like the story is how like these people who care about each other are like there for each other despite how hard the world is. And we're not there yet, and we might not. Gardens of the Moon is its own thing, so you might not feel that as keenly in this book, but I'm saying like that is something to glom onto long term potentially for you.
I'm a big fan of gods in books. Like I read the Percy Jackson series,
Oh,
and so
so
I
good.
am pumped about that concept that they all have their own thing that they're in charge of, or like the god, like the hood. I think that's a fun idea.
And they're people with personalities who you will meet and who people can talk to.
and like they can die. So I'm like, okay, so
Yeah.
that's gonna become a thing.
And you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see there's the, because yes, I was like, oh my God, this is so dank and like depressing. But the beautiful things, because it's not very beautiful, is like that conversation between Tattersail and the giant. And like what you were saying, Danilo, it's like it comes from the relationships. This is something I forgot to mention. When One Arm and Whiskey Jack are talking, there's some sort of history between them that we don't know about yet. And I'm really excited to find out, because they talk about it. He's like, he was too close to Dujek, and though they strove to hide it, the history between them had ever churned beneath the surface. There had been a time when Dujek called him sir, and though Whiskey Jack held no grudges, he knew that Dujek still had trouble accepting the changes of fortunes. If the time came, Whiskey Jack intended to be at One Arm's side. And I was like, oh, it's like about staying true to each other in terrible chaos.
yeah, like at some
Or
point,
some sort of rank
or
thing.
it's a rank thing, but like also the current rank does not reflect like our history as like friends or what we've been through, and so like that complicates everything.
Something fun I think in this is that Lysine and Lorne are like God, these bridge burners, they might be planning something, but we don't know. So, Perrin, you're going to have to go there and you're going to have to figure it out, like figure out what's going on. And then the first time we meet the bridge burners, they're sitting around a table being like, so how are we going to kill all these fucking people? Huh? Like, how are we going to do our rebellion and make sure everybody's on board? And
Well,
he's
and
like, well,
they're
they're
like-
right to be suspicious.
Because all the previous captains were killed.
But also like the reason all the bridge burners are suspicious is because Lysine like keeps trying to get rid of them. So it's like, what came first? Lysine being suspicious that her bridge burners are rebelling, or are the bridge burners rebelling because Lysine like
Right.
sort of keeps maneuvering to try to kill
Classic
them?
bridge burners.
Classic
Lysine,
BB
riddle.
stuff.
I thought it was funny when they were just like playing poker or whatever, and I was like, all right, this is
There-
the boy
that.
dudes hanging out.
Buckle in. There's a lot of the fun stuff is soldiers hanging out doing crazy stuff with each other.
There's a horse dung fire in here, which
That's cool.
is a real thing, and I just can't imagine the smell of that.
Yeah, overall, I think I am enjoying it. I think I really only have one complaint, and it's a complaint that everybody, or not everybody, I guess, but that a lot of people have with fantasy. And I just don't understand why there's only two. Well, there's three technically, but only really honestly one female character who's Tattersail, who I like, and I think she's good. But then we have Adjunct Lauren, who's barely in it, Empress Lysine, who you never really see. And then it's like 25 dudes. And I'm like, you could make at least 10 of these dudes women, and it would not make a difference. That's my only complaint so far.
I have more than one, but you've heard a lot of them. So,
But yeah, I hope soon, or maybe later, there's going to be more women. Because I love Lord of the Rings. It's the same complaint I have with Lord of the Rings. In Lord of the Rings defense, the three women in that story are awesome and three-dimensional
One of the
and
most powerful
badass.
beings in the world.
I know,
maybe.
but that's also kind of like part of the problem. But it is a good, like, it's pretty good. So far, we've got one who's three-dimensional, so I'm hoping that we get more to come soon.
I think they could just cut the character list in half. I think give me 5, name them fun, really straight names like
I think
Fiddler.
a valid complaint is that there might be too much happening.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't think that you're wrong to say that. Like, I think it is maybe poorly edited, feels like a strong word, but there's a ton happening that really at the end of the day, when you close the book, I can think of
Doesn't
stuff
need
that
to
we
be
haven't
happening,
gotten yet.
Oh
where
my
I'm like,
God,
we could have dealt with a
1,000%.
bunch of that not being in there.
Yeah.
And all these, and because of that, there's all these tiny details, but then they get lost. And like,
And you're right,
there's
and you're
a
like,
lot of
I don't
really
really know
important
what to
things I
keep-
don't
What's
think we
important?
talked
Track
about.
of,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. No, I think you're right.
But that long term don't matter because we've like talked about what matters long term. But the only reason we know that is because like Mac and I have read the books before.
Mm-hmm.
But there is always action happening. So I did appreciate that. Like, you don't have time to get bored. You have time to get confused and you have time to get lost, but you don't really have time to get bored because there's always action. And
There's always
I
something
liked that
happening.
because like there's some stories where you're like, all right, can you just get to the point?
Yeah,
that's
stuff
not
with
the case
stakes
here.
is happening. Like
Yeah,
Perrin
yeah.
assigned, God showing up. Oh, the bridge burners have maybe been betrayed. Do they know? Oh, they get reassigned. You know, all that stuff. And it's only been 150 pages.
And
or
on the
whatever.
reread, I do remember being like, I don't really care if the bridge burners are being betrayed because I have no fucking clue who these people
Right,
are.
because I don't like them. Or,
Right.
yeah.
right. But then, like, by book 4, you're like, I love the bridge burners.
Yeah.
And then, so when you're rereading them, you're like, how dare she betray these guys? But the first time, you're like, I don't really care. All I know about Whiskey Jack is that he was kind of a dickhead to a little boy like 20 years ago.
Right. So now, I'm going to ask you two, I've read this before. Who do you think is the good guys? Who do you think is the bad guys?
It's hard to tell because when I met Cotillion, the Shadow Throne, I was like, okay, you are obviously really fleshed out characters and like you're doing something and they feel bad about what they're doing, but they're like, we have to do it. And so I was interested in that. And the part that made, because I was like, oh, they're the good guys. The moment where I started to doubt that.
Wait, immediately you thought Cotillion and Shadowthorn were the good guys?
When they
Yeah.
killed a whole
That's crazy
town
to
of
me.
people.
When they killed a,
Yeah.
when they killed
I
a battalion of
clocked
innocent
the
people with
bad
dogs.
guys instantly. Should we take the 12-year-old? I don't feel right about this.
We're all dressed in black and have shadow magic, and we're going to murder a bunch of people for no reason.
But
These
the
are the good guys.
The reason I thought they were the good guys is because right away when I hear Empress, I'm like, she's the bad guy. And if they're
Oh.
working against her,
You're suspicious
they're
of
the
power.
good guys.
That's interesting because
And-
I had the opposite.
Well, they're working against the Empress, and I'm like, she had a coup. She was part of this evil acolyte group of the Claw. They're working against her. They must be the good guys.
But you don't know that they're evil.
Well, they are described in a like creepy
Right, but
kind of
the
evil
only
way.
thing we know Lysine has done is do like a purge of the nobility, which I don't know.
Haven't we all done a purge of the nobility,
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
All she's done is eat the rich.
Well,
so
okay.
far.
Anyways, when I was like, wait a
Working
minute.
class hero, Empress
She
Lysine.
literally is. They say
But
she used
she's
to be a
conquering all these lands. That's not.
She said she used to be a bar wench, and now she is the empress of the Malazan Empire.
Yeah,
And
but-
yes, she
but
is
it's an
conquering the
empire.
lands.
But it's an empire, and I just
And we'll
can't
say
get
from
behind
pure
that.
skill, just because she's really good at killing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
meritocracy.
But anyways, when we entered the Shadow Realm and Perrin pitted himself against Shadow Throne, I was like, oh, actually, maybe they're the bad guys.
Wait
because
You thought a guy named Shadow Throne might be the good guy?
I didn't know that they were the same person. I didn't
Sure,
know that
sure.
Oh, okay,
Amanus
sure.
and
Yeah,
Shadow
yeah,
Throne
yeah,
were the
yeah,
same.
yeah, that makes
I
sense.
was like,
Colton
these
and
are just two
Anonymous.
guys because they never say Shadow Throne is Amanus or whatever, and so I didn't realize that. But when he pits himself against them, I was like, oh, okay, so they must be the bad guys. He must be the good guys. But I don't know where Anamanda Rake fits in.
Yeah.
Well, we'll figure out maybe when we meet him. Shelby, who do you think is the good guy? Who thinks the bad guy?
So Sari's on the good team.
Nice.
I like Sari.
Why?
No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you
Well, she
you're
is
just
on
kidding?
the team of maybe who are the good guys,
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
But she's Cotillion.
Yeah,
But
literally.
you just told me Cotilion's the main character. He's the good guy.
You just told me he's a bad guy.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
I didn't say he's a bad guy.
I
All the good
don't-
guys, all the books start with a good guy possessing a little girl.
There's some files about that.
Amada's Shadow Throne is in the Epstein file.
bad guy.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
So I don't think the Empress is great. I also don't think Shadow Throne and the Rope are great either. So far I liked the Wax Witch, but she died, so that's
She
sad.
died almost instantly.
Almost instantly. But I had good vibes for her. I do think
Hang on. You had good vibes for the woman who is speaking nonsense and then almost rips a little girl's hair out of her head and screams prophecy.
well,
No,
she
I had a good vibe from her,
real
too.
prophecy. You know,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like
yeah,
when
yeah.
the moment meets you, you just gotta be there.
And she was like, I care about you and don't let them use you or something.
Yeah,
I like that.
she was
I
warning
like
her.
that she's like some crazy shit is about to happen.
she was warning her. Run!
Yeah.
I think the bridge burners can ultimately be good guys.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're kind of set up to be our protagonists. I will say the puppet boy, he's a mixed bag.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a lunatic.
I just think he's a fun wild card.
He's
There
awesome.
is
he is the ultimate wild card.
he is the wild card. Tattersail, aka Tattersall.
Sure.
That's a type of like. Never mind.
Well, no, what is that? I don't
That's
know
a
what that is.
that's the name of a local distillery
Local
here in the
distillery.
Twin Cities.
All I can think about when I read these is like
Well, that makes sense.
Surly.
It's funny that Surly and
Surly,
Tattersall.
yeah.
Surly,
Surly,
also a
Tattersall,
local brewing
yeah.
establishment.
Whiskey. I mean, I just
Whiskey
like
Jack.
Whiskey Jack. Whiskey famously created in the Twin Cities.
Yeah. I think ultimately she's going to be a good character, like on the
Mhm.
right side. But the fact that she can't make a choice kind of frustrates me a little bit. Other than that, I think, and then the gods is like a big question.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there is a good or bad side to the gods. I think they're all in
Yeah.
it for themselves.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Totally.
like
It's like Greek mythology.
It's like Greek mythology. Yeah, they
Yeah.
kind of just all have their own agenda. And so you're like, well, it's, sometimes it's in the area of doing good and then sometimes it's in the area of doing bad.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they can be labeled black and white.
they're
kinda
gonna
like that.
do what they're
Yeah.
gonna do for
Yeah.
themselves in that moment.
My
Yeah.
most intriguing one. I do think the hood is just kind of fun. I get Grim Reaper vibes.
Hood, yeah.
And
I think it's so funny he was busy.
yeah, he was busy.
What does he do beyond the game?
He's got an assistant. So that's where you know.
He has a frustrating assistant.
Yeah. So I like that for him. I'm like, that's a boss right there. I'm excited to see what the other gods are. But
Yeah.
ultimately, I think the bridge burners are going to be, that's our logo. I don't know if you guys have seen this. That's our logo. So
That
if we've
is
got,
It
true.
is. The
it's-
Bridge Burner logo is the logo
if
for
we
the
were
podcast.
like, let's make the Nazi symbol our
Yeah.
logo, I think. Are they going to be good? Are they going to be bad? I don't know. But we made it our logo. So I have to assume we were pretty smart
I
about
have
it.
to.
Oh my god.
Yeah. No, I guess my own personal bias about glass interfered with my ability to understand who was the good and the bad guy.
Mhm.
Because when
Your
they're
personal
like
bias with glass?
class, because they're like, oh, he's a nobleman. I was like, well, then I'm not interested in him.
Well, I
Like,
think
I
you're-
don't fuck with
Yeah,
that.
I don't think you're wrong to
And
think
like,
that.
she's the empress, so she's bad, and they're trying to fight the empress, so they're good.
Yeah.
But it's things are not black and white. Classic.
I would also say I did sort of set you up for failure. I think, ultimately it is all sort of gray area. There's no like, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Danilo, this is just for you and me because we're the
Uh-huh.
only two people who read it, but people listening, I think it's fun. So Stephen Erickson was heavily inspired by Glenn Cook's That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Glenn Cook's the Black Company, which is a military. All of this bridge burner stuff. Listen, Stephen Erickson, I love you. A lot of this stuff, pretty right away, is let's say inspired by Glenn Cook's The Black Company.
And the Black Company is like about a mercenary company in like a dark fantasy world that gets hired out to do all sorts of horrendous stuff because they have to do it because they're mercenaries and that's their life.
And a fun thing, towards the end of the first half of the first Black Company book, they go into that tower and get ripped apart by a scary, like, evil jaguar or something.
Yep.
When the Hound is doing that to the bridge burners guarding the house that they're guarding, I was like, oh, this is just reverse the end of that
story.
section, that story. And I wondered if that was on purpose because that is exactly what I thought, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's just a normal animal that's magic and scary.
Yeah,
ripping apart people.
Right.
Yep.
That's fun.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was sad when those guards died.
Oh, I think that scene is pretty funny though, because one of them is like, "What is that? What is that dog over there?" And the guys are like, "We've had a crazy night. It's one of those nights." And then again, he's like, "What is that dog?" And then I think the thing is, like, the guy asking what is that dog was the only one to get his pike up fast enough to do anything at all.
Yeah. Fun,
I thought
fun
he
little
said pipe
scenes.
because I was like, good for you. Like, get that last hit in.
I see a giant dog. Like, let's
light it up.
light it up
really fast.
Dream blunt rotation. 3 guards, big dog.
And a little puppet.
I would not smoke
Did
weed
you
with
guys
Caroline.
see that little puppet in the big dog? Or is that
Dude,
just
that
me?
guy is crazy. Give me your soul.
Tell me you're seeing that puppet over there.
He's like just rattling around on the box and shaking.
Is that giant dog fighting a tiny puppet like looks like a man?
Holy fuck.
Who'd you buy this from? This is good stuff.
This is good. You must have gotten these from those Moran.
It's that Maranth weed right here.
All right.
We love to laugh, don't we?
So next time we shall be reading book 2 and book 3 of Gardens of the Moon. Book 2, we start with a brand new cast of characters.
I can't wait to start over.
But like we said at the top,
They're normal.
It's easier. It's a bunch of guys in a city. We are going to Darujistan, the city of Blue Fire. And we're going to see what happens with all of them. So if you like the show, we are Malazan Maniacs. Please leave a review. We're going to keep releasing these. We're going to keep reading these. And if you like them, tell your friends.
if you think my jokes are funny, you can tell me in the comments. It's really going to help me feel better.
Oh, that's
about all
good.
this.
Yeah.
Now, we need to come up with some sort of sign off.
We have it.
Yeah.
It's stay Malazan, you maniacs.
All right. Well, there you go. And a little lip smack at the end.
Well, we've all been eating like an unbelievable huge bowl of pudding this whole time. And we've been trying to hide the lip smacks on the mic, so now we're just going to let them fly.
Yeah, pudding where your mouth gets really dry.
My pudding, your mouth gets dry, brother. Listen, I know two
Famous
things.
dry
Shadow
pudding.
Throne's on the Epstein list, and I make the driest pudding in the Twin Cities.